Awesome. Hi guys. Thanks for joining.
Hi.
Hi. Yes, thank you. We're so excited. So I'm super excited, and I'm here with Houston today. So super quick intros. So for everybody that's joining for the first time, so I'm Corey, one of the co-founders of Dogly. Here with Houston, who is on camera for the first time. And as he's like squirming away. And I'm so excited to chat today with Lisa and Jeff from Boofy's Best for Pets in Albuquerque. So thank you so much, guys, for joining.
Yay. Thanks for inviting us.
Yay. Yeah, so I'm super excited. So we have like been chatting for maybe like a year now. Houston's gonna be licking me through this whole thing. But yeah, like we've sort of known each other for a year now, and I'm just so excited to share you guys. Obviously, we're in New York, so we're not local to you, but you guys are this like gem in Albuquerque. And you have so much knowledge to share, and I told you guys, but like we always feel super lucky to know people like you, and we want our one-on-one conversations to be like everyone conversations, and for everybody to be able to hear what we talk about. So I thought we should come on and chat and talk about stuff that we always talk about, which is nutrition and like doing good stuff for our pets. So yeah, so first of all, I would love to learn more about you guys and how you started Boofy's, and Lisa, how your biology background, if at all, it connects with Boofy's.
Well,
maybe the easier question is, how did you start? How did you get into this wonderful world?
Multiple parts of that question. We opened Boofy's back in 2010. We moved here to Albuquerque to open the store. Particularly, we lived in the Seattle area for a long time. We were active in animal rescue there. Specifically, we worked with a very large no-kill cat shelter in the Seattle area. And so we were fostering kitties, we were adopting kitties, we were working as adoption counselors and also outreach volunteers. And we were seeing a lot of cats that were coming into the shelter system, or coming back especially, that had health issues. And we could see that nutrition was a very big part of what was going on with these cats, both the ones that we were fostering and also the ones that we saw, older kitties, cats with kidney failure, cats with crystals and blockages, overweight cats. So we started learning a lot about nutrition that way.
And behavioral issues as well, too. A lot of the cats were entering the shelter system, or they were being returned due to either behavioral or health issues.
Oh, wow.
As a direct result of nutrition.
Huh.
For nutrition specifically.
Wow. So full disclosure, you guys are maybe more on the cat side of things than on the dog side of the cat spectrum, more than the dog spectrum. Is that the vibe that I'm getting?
That's definitely how we started out and how we got here. Although I would say after 10 plus years of working with what I'd say 80% of our customers are dog customers.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We're, and of course having dogs ourselves.
Right.
We've I think almost caught up.
Equal opportunity for everybody, for all pets.
Yes. Uh-huh.
That's awesome. Okay, so you were in Seattle and you're seeing cats come in with all different types of nutritional and behavioral issues. How does that equal a store in Albuquerque?
Well, first there was the how do we get to Albuquerque, and I'm not sure if you're aware, it rains a lot in Seattle, and the sun doesn't shine a whole lot, especially in the winter.
Right.
So when we were looking for perhaps a new place to put down roots, we picked
more sunshine.
More sunshine, about the sunniest place we could find. We get over 300 days of sun a year here.
Wow.
So there were a few other factors we considered too.
Right.
Not many.
Right. That's awesome.
So we came where it was nice and warm and sunny to open a store. But then why did we open a store? That was because of what we were observing in cat rescue. And then we started doing some work with stores up in the Seattle area.
We worked with a local chain for a year, learning the business. And then we thought, time to go do our own thing. So
that's awesome.
We moved to the land of sunshine.
That's amazing. And so
And
when people, so you guys are known, like you guys are not a normal or not like a typical pet store. You guys are like really this like knowledge center that has great products, right? Like you're more than just like products in a room for people to come and shop from, which I think is number one, super cool, and also really important for people to come in and be able to like ask you guys questions and you know what you're talking about to be this resource.
We want to be a resource for people and their pets. I mean, that's why we are here. I mean, we focus on the nutrition because we know how much it affects the health and, you know, longevity of pets. And we want to keep pets as healthy and long-lived as possible. So it's knowing what we're talking about, being able to educate customers, encouraging customers to educate themselves is very important to us.
Yeah, doing our own homework too.
And Lisa had a good head start with her degree in biology and with her work in biotech, and a really, really good head for nutrition and for medical issues, medical conditions, health in general. And I'm proof that anyone could learn some of those things too.
Yeah, well, Jeff comes from IT, but there's a problem-solving basis that's very crucial to careers both in science and in IT. So knowing how to problem solve, knowing how to think about a problem, analyze a situation, try to come up with solutions. So it's very much relevant, those backgrounds, to what we do now, plus just loving pets.
Right. So what are some of the problems that people are asking you guys about or come to? Do they come in and say, like, my dog has diabetes, or this is what my dog's problem is, and what should I do? Or is it more like they're walking around, like, how does that conversation start, I guess is my question. And what problems are you helping them to address?
Well, I think we get a variety of types of first-time customers. We get customers that are just looking to improve what they're currently doing, and we get some customers that are looking for help with specific conditions. So in either case, we do get customers that come in and say, well, actually, also as part of our questioning of customers when we're trying to help them find foods, we get customers that will say, well, my dog is overweight, could stand to lose a few pounds here or there, or my dog itches quite a bit and his ears smell bad, or we get we do ask the question.
Stop licking.
Yeah.
So you have. Sorry, go ahead.
That's a good way to I guess to get the conversations going is that we do when people are looking for a new food, we do ask a lot of questions to try to figure out what's a good fit for our customer.
Yeah.
And sometimes we get customers come in right off the bat and say, hey, can you help me with my dog who's on this prescription diet and I'm looking for a better quality product.
Right.
But oftentimes it's a matter of we ask the questions and drill down and figure out what's going to be a good fit for a customer.
Mm-hmm. And so on one of those problems. So like for people who come in that have overweight pets, that I would think is a touchy, thank you, is a touchy subject, maybe.
It can be.
Yeah.
It definitely can be.
How do you address that? And how do people I think we all love our dogs and we're blind to pets, cats, dogs, fine. We get blind. We love them so much and we don't see when they have a health issue. You know, it's more obvious if they're itching or if they have like that. Those types of health issues are more obvious, but the overweight problem seems to be something that we're like blind to it because we love them so much. So how do you help people see that?
We generally do require customers to kind of self-serve in that regard. We'll ask questions about health issues for dogs or cats, but if someone is not ready to acknowledge that their dog is grossly overweight, then we're not really going to hear about that.
Right.
But sometimes we'll make recommendations and state we'd recommend this one if your dog was overweight, and then a customer decides at that point to say, oh, well, maybe my dog could lose a couple pounds.
Right.
Or maybe you bring up, swimsuit season's coming, that try to tread lightly.
Yeah, for sure. That's what we've had people that have said, oops, did my video just freeze? No, maybe we're okay.
You're good.
We've had people that I've seen their dog and they've said oh, do you think he's good or a little on the heavy side? And it's still so awkward. You don't ever want to, even if they're asking you what do you think, you still don't want to say or I haven't figured out a nice way yet to say maybe we should do 20% less on the treats this month. There's I don't know how to do that. Maybe there is no easy way.
We just use the phrase big boned.
Yeah.
Your dog.
Fluffy.
Your dog's fluffy.
Very fluffy.
Yes, for sure. And is there for people?
No, we actually do talk about when customers come in with their dogs or when they're asking about how do you know if your dog's heavy? We do talk about shape.
Right.
You should be able to see a waist on the dog. Yeah. You should be able to see that there are bones underneath the skin. You don't want to see the bones,
right?
But you want to be able to know that there's a rib cage. And sometimes dogs are a little bit fluffier than that, and you really can't tell that they've got bones underneath there. And then that's when we know that they probably should lose a couple pounds.
Yeah, yeah.
And then sometimes there are dogs that there's really not a whole lot of question when you see them, but
oh yeah.
Usually when we're seeing those dogs, the customer is come in and said, our vet has told us that our dog needs to lose 10 pounds.
Right.
And that's usually pretty accurate when we hear that one.
Yeah. And it's it's fun, whatever, we're laughing about it and all of that, but it's a serious thing, right? And it affects, it's 50% or something. It's some crazy number of
Well, it's kind of mirrored the rise in the average weight of humans in this country too. You're seeing increased weight, overweight, obesity in humans, and their pets are following right along with them, unfortunately, as a whole. So it's a big health issue. It increases the risk of diabetes, it increases the risk of cancer. It's hard on the joints. They'll pay for it down the road as they get older, carrying those extra pounds. And, when you kind of scale it down, maybe it's just a few extra pounds, but it's relative to the size of the dog. Right. 3 extra pounds on a dog that's, 40 pounds, 30 pounds. That's a lot,
Yeah.
It may not seem that way, but relative to the dog, it is.
Yeah. One other, since it is Dental Health Month, one other question or problem. Thank you, Houston, as we're talking about dental. Thank you. It's perfectly timed. So, nobody likes brushing their dog's teeth. Cat, dog teeth, whatever. Nobody likes brushing their teeth. So number one, why is dental health important? And why is everybody talking about it? It seems like it's besides just this month, but like it's something that's like constantly being brought up and new products coming out, like all this, it's a huge topic now. And like, what can people do who say like, oh, my dog doesn't like getting their teeth brushed, or they just like don't do it?
Well, it's kind of, it's almost as important with dogs and cats as it is with people. I only say almost because of lifespan, I guess, because people's teeth have to live another 4 times as long as dogs or cats usually do. But still, dogs and cats are going to have issues with, if they're eating carbohydrate-based products, which most do, getting buildup of plaque and tartar, which then lead to decay and gingivitis and
disease.
Infections that can go systemic. We've seen dogs and cats with teeth infections that actually end up getting into organs and causing death. So, you want to take care of the teeth for not only for being able to use them, but just for the general well-being, health and well-being of your pets.
Yeah. So we should really think about it like, if we need our teeth to live and be healthy, they need, like, it's the same. They need their teeth to live and be healthy. And if we need to brush ours, we need to brush theirs too.
Exactly. And many are not able to brush for one reason or another. And there's a few different things that do help. One thing being cutting down on carbohydrate content of food and treats, and going with more meaty products, meaty chews, variety of different chews, or even toys that help get in and do a little bit of abrasion on the teeth when they chew. Frozen raw bones are good for that.
Raw meaty bones are great, especially for dogs, used as meal replacements. The necks, turkey necks, duck necks, chicken necks, that sort of thing. The stringiness kind of helps as a flossing aid, but just any sort of bone content, raw bones, of course, never cooked, provides some mechanical abrasion and scraping action. Plus, you get all the natural enzymes that are in raw meat. But if you're not comfortable with that, there's plenty of other chews. There are things like antlers,
bully sticks.
Bully sticks
provide really good chewing action and get in between teeth.
Get the saliva going too. That helps a lot with keeping bacterial content down in the mouth.
And so are those, like, we give our guys marrow bones. Are those types of bones a substitute for brushing their teeth, or is it in addition to?
It's nice if it's in addition to.
In
an ideal world, you'd be brushing, they'd be getting good chews where they get good scraping going on. There are also additives and things, but also diet, like Jeff said, reducing the carbohydrate content in the diet, because all you're doing is really just feeding the bacteria on the teeth with that to a large degree. So there are multiple ways to approach it, and you should optimally try to approach the situation through as many channels as you can to keep the dental health as optimal as possible.
And that's what I will very readily admit, I am not very good at brushing our dog's teeth, trying to be better, but they get the marrow bones, they get the yak chews, like all those types of types of chews that I hope are helping with their teeth. But it sort of seems like, obviously brushing is what we should all be doing if we can. Dogs that squirm away and won't do it, but
it helps if you can start them off as puppies, and when it's just part of their routine from the very beginning. But a lot of us, if you do rescue or adopt older animals, it can be a bigger battle getting your dog, especially cats, to allow you to brush their teeth. But sometimes they see the toothbrush coming and they totally freak out. Well, if that doesn't work, maybe try like one of the little finger type brushes. If that doesn't work, maybe wrap your finger in gauze. They'll often be more accepting of a finger coming into their mouth versus, a brush.
That's a good idea.
So there are ways to actually just tackle the brushing part of it. But, if that doesn't work out, and many dogs and especially cats just totally freak out on it, do some other things.
And as far as dental chew type products too, there are a few different products that are able to help remove the plaque and tartar with the ingredients. But there's also a lot of dental products that are very high carb based products that, in our opinion, don't actually look like they would contribute to improving dental health. So you kind of do have to be careful of that. And I would recommend natural chews as a good alternative in most cases.
So so for somebody who's like trying to figure out if it's a good thing, if it's a good product for them or not. So is that as simple as like flipping over the bag and seeing what the ingredients are, or how can people sort of discern?
Oftentimes when you flip over the product and you see that there's, for example, a large amount of potato or potato starch or rice, then there may be things that help improve, but there may be things that also contribute with that product. Whereas if you're getting something like a bully stick, or
an antler,
or an antler, or other similar chews that can get in between teeth, even toys. There's some customers may avoid plush toys because how easy it is for their dogs to destroy them. But if it's something that their dog can chew on for a few minutes and actually help get into the teeth, then that provides a little bit of abrasion. Not nearly as good as a natural chew like a bully, but at least it provides a little bit of abrasive action.
Actually, hemp rope is good for that.
Oh,
hemp rope is good. If they ingest it, it's going to pass through like grass, unlike a cotton or a nylon type rope, which can be a problem if it gets, caught and bound up on the inside. But hemp will go through like grass.
Yeah.
But it's like floss. That can be a good alternative as a natural rope type chew.
And so I have one more question about dental care. Sort of, it's about dental care. Do you ever have any worries about chews actually hurting a dog? Like if it's a hard type of chew, cracking a tooth, or them like breaking off a big piece and digesting it? Like, is that something that sort of like
definitely concerns, and you want to try to size a chew appropriately for a dog. In some cases, you get super duper aggressive chewers with strong jaws and teeth that are gonna, stop at nothing to try to bust through a chew. And if you get too hard of a chew, that actually can be a problem because they can damage their teeth.
Yeah.
On the other hand, if you get too soft of a chew, then they scarf it down in a matter of minutes. So that the
lifetime of the lifetime of the chew is reduced.
Yeah.
And of course, anytime you've got things for your dogs to chew on, whether they're playing with toys or rope toys, as we mentioned a few minutes ago, or natural chews, or even kibble, you still might want to pay attention and make sure that they're chewing appropriately. Some dogs scarf up their kibble so fast that they can swallow it down the wrong pipes. So you do want to pay attention to how your dogs are eating, and make sure that they don't choke or ingest things that they don't need to.
Yeah. We always recommend supervising. The common question is my dog going to choke on that? Well, we don't have a crystal ball, but with good supervision, if you try to match your dog's chewing style with what you're giving your dog to chew, they're not going to. But honestly, anything that goes in your dog's mouth, including its dinner, is a choking hazard. So it's all about common sense, and just keep observation and knowing your pet.
Yeah, that's what my favorite phrase is: know your dog, know your pet, know your dog, because it's literally like I mean, we have 4 dogs and they all chew differently. You know, and it's just like knowing if one has a yak chew, like he's, you know, he'll chew it nicely. The other one will like gremlin style and like, you know, devour it. So yeah, so maybe not great for the gremlin as long, you know, he's the gremlin.
He appreciates that feedback.
Yes, yes, he knows that's his name. So sort of along the same lines of products and all of that. How? So obviously you guys own a store. So you're, I'm sure, being approached by brands all the time that want to sell their products in your store. And being this like nutritional knowledge center that you are, I'm sure you only want the best products in your store. So what's your, how do you know? What's your process? How do you look at products, and how can we do the same as just regular pet people?
Well, we have a couple different bars for products that we bring into the store. But we do take a look at all the different ingredients that go into a product, and we select products that we feel like the ingredients are actually all serving a purpose. And we select manufacturers that have a proven track record,
have integrity,
trusted manufacturer with integrity, with good quality products, without an extensive history of recalls. You know, to some degree, many manufacturers have recalls that may occur beyond their control, and so a single recall, we certainly won't ban a manufacturer for that, but
how they handle it is a big deal, because stuff happens. I mean, recalls are common, you know, all the time in the human food world, but you know, we don't just rely on one food for ourselves. If, you know, our peanut butter is recalled, well, we get another brand of peanut butter, or we have, you know, a different type of sandwich for lunch, and so it's not as big of a deal. But when you have pets that are often eat just that one particular food, sadly, then it becomes a big deal when there's a recall. Yeah. But you know, they do
also happen. Whether manufacturers have a history of repeating the same issues,
same mistakes,
that can be a problem. So we do take a look at the track record of manufacturers.
And if there has been a recall, how did they handle it, both with the public and with their retailers and their distributors and their, you know, sourcing. So
yeah.
There's also, in comparing ingredient panels, there's some things that aren't really, we're not able to actually see on the ingredient panel, and that is the sourcing or the quality of ingredients. So the grade of chicken in one bag of food is going to be different than the grade of chicken in another bag of food.
But it'll just say chicken on the bag.
So you can't necessarily go by ingredient panel alone. But just for anyone who's looking for a good quality product, we generally kind of simplify it to 3 main ingredients. And that is, if you find a food that has no wheat products in it, no corn, and no byproducts, you're almost always going to be avoiding all of the other really bad ingredients. So you're going to be getting a better than average. You're going to be getting a pretty good food if you can avoid those 3 ingredients on an ingredient panel.
So no wheat, no corn, no byproduct. Got it. All right.
And then there are other things like you don't want to see, you know, soy is not a great ingredient, but also no artificial preservatives, no artificial colors, that sort of thing. But usually if you see wheat or corn or byproducts, you'll often see the other ones. You avoid those. You're typically going to avoid some of the, you know, related no-nos that you want to see in a pet food.
And for example, like red number 40, we rarely see red number 40 that in a food that doesn't have any corn, wheat, or byproduct. So
doesn't even
that's a simple way of trying to see if a food is even, you know, marginally acceptable.
So, but even like, does price point even matter at this? Okay, now he's looking at my Like, because one would think that if a food is more expensive, that it's better. Does that
Not necessarily.
equate? Okay.
Yeah. In general, yes, but not necessarily yes.
Yeah.
In general, the grade of ingredients and the quality of the manufacturing facility, the quality of the manufacturing process are all going to contribute to the price of the food. And many of our foods are priced in line with the ingredient quality and the manufacturing quality. The kind of the caveat to that you have to look for is how much does a company spend in national advertising? Mm-hmm. And there are a few brands that you could probably think of off the top of your head that you can think of off the top of your head because you see commercials for them regularly. Well, they spend a lot of money in advertising, and to recoup those costs, it goes into the price.
Yep. Just, to a certain degree, if they're spending it on marketing, promotion, and advertising, they're not necessarily spending it on the quality of the ingredients in the food.
Mm-hmm.
That's so crazy. So that's like a backwards. So basically you should not buy the foods that you see having big TV commercials.
That's a pretty good rule of thumb. There are some quality brands that do national advertising,
right?
But when you're considering quality brands and you're considering price and you're comparing between brands, then don't forget about the cost of those commercials that you saw.
Yeah. That's
so
great.
If paying $60 for a bag versus $70 for a bag is a consideration for you, then you do want to also consider what the cost of the advertising is.
Right. So that's like, it's, I guess it only makes sense, right? The money has to come from somewhere. So they're padding their product costs to cover their Super Bowl spots or whatever.
I mean, we have customers who will come in and to our store for the first time. They're like, I don't recognize any of these brands. Like, that's because they're not, running radio ads and TV commercials and, big glossy magazine advertising. They're not doing that because they are using their resourcing and funds to build a better product, not,
Mm-hmm.
That's such a good insight. I never thought about that. That's awesome. So I have one final question for you guys.
All right.
And it's about your pets. So, and I also about your store pets. So I know you guys have a couple cats, maybe. And full
sure.
I have a cat too, so this is a cat-friendly space. He yells at me all day, but yeah, I would love to know about who you guys get to hang out with all day, who your pets are.
We have a store kitty. I'm looking at him right now. He's perhaps a little bit busy in his happy place. Bed, which he's decided is his favorite place in the world.
Can you tell
how you able to summon him? But yeah, we have a few cats at home. We have our store kitty Stilgar. We've got some cats in foster care here that are available for adoption. We're currently dogless. Our dog passed away a few months ago. We have not been blessed with a
the next one hasn't turned up yet.
The next one has not magically turned up and said, I'm your dog. And that's usually kind of what we wait for with our pets is for one to turn up that says, I'm here to be rescued by you.
That's amazing.
We do like to have senior pets here. We've had 3 dogs since we've had the store, all older. Wow. Yugi, our last dog, she was about 14 when she passed. We adopted her when she was 11. Our previous dog was at least 13 when he was found. So we had him for 2 years. He passed at 15. We knew how old he was because we knew how old his microchip was. Our first dog, Bowie McJagger Waggles, we have no idea how old he was, but no one knows. But he was actually a good life lesson for us. He came to us with a huge page of environmental allergies and a ton of food allergies, and was pretty much allergic to everything, including his own shadow. It was that bad. And it was interesting for the 2 years that we had him, dealing with such an extreme case of allergies in a pet.
We were fairly naive about allergies with pets prior to working with Bowie. And he taught us a lot.
Yeah,
he did.
That's what we say all the time. I wish we knew. We obviously have had dogs cats too. We actually used to be outnumbered. We used to be 3 cats, 1 dog, and now we're 4 dogs, 1 cat. So we flipped the ratio. But we always say that we wish that we knew then what we know now about our dogs and like what we should be feeding them and allergies and all that kind of stuff. Because we had labs all growing up, and they were like, we had one that was allergic to grass, supposedly. And she was just miserable. And I'm sure I'm sure there was ways that we could have helped her. But I'm sure we went to the vet and did whatever they told us to do, and she just itched all the time, and it was horrible. But you learn, it's so cool how much you can learn from them. And then now it helps all of our pets now.
That's kind of where the name for our store comes from. I had a cat named Boofy. He's been gone a long time now, but he died relatively young of kidney failure. And kidney disease is very common in cats. And I did not know then what I know now about feline nutrition. And if I did, I think we would have been together a longer time than we had together. But the store is kind of a testament to him and trying to teach more pet parents how to meet their pets' nutritional needs better to keep them around longer. And that's the goal, because no matter how long we have them, it's never long enough.
Nope.
And
we're fortunate here too to the fact that we have a lot of wonderful customers with their own awesome cats and dogs that we get to learn from them as well. We learn from issues that they have. We learn from I wouldn't say trial and error. We've got a good idea of what we want to do with a diet or a protocol on how to help with certain conditions, and we learn new things all the time about what works best for one dog versus another dog, or one cat versus another cat. So we've had the benefit of learning from literally hundreds of dogs and cats over the years. Thousands.
Probably, at this point.
That's awesome. That's so great. Well, I can't thank you guys enough for coming on and chatting. And for everybody that is in or near Albuquerque, you guys have to go check out Boofy's. You guys, they're so lucky to have you guys nearby. I'm so jealous. Hopefully we'll be able to come out and visit you guys and see the store and chat some more. But honestly, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for inviting us on.
Yes, we'll have to do some more nutritional chats, and maybe Houston will join us again.
Love to.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks everybody for joining and watching. And see everybody soon.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye.